Yo, what's going on? What's going on? Rebels Advocate in the building, back again. What's going on, people? Everybody all right? Check the mic, make sure my sound is right. Yes. What's going on, people? What's happening? Anyway, welcome to the Rebel Advocate podcast where we engage in topical debates that will leave you questioning the world around you. Yeah, it's me. You can call me teacher, yeah. And with each episode, we'll delve into most pressing issues of our time, including captivating discussions on subjects like the lovely Metropolitan Police and this crazy person, the Angel of Death. Anyway, our podcast serves as a forum for in-depth analysis where we explore the complexities and controversies around these topics, shedding light on the untold stories and hidden truths. So join us as we navigate the intricacies of law enforcement, unravel the mysteries of the human psyche, and uncover the untold narratives that shape our society. So get ready for a thought-provoking experience that will change your perspectives and broaden your understanding of the world we live in. Welcome to the Rebel Advocates. Big up. Who's there? Anybody else here with me?
Yo, what you saying, man?
Who's that? Artie?
Yeah, in the building. How you doing, man? You right?
I'm alright. You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, my man. Not too bad.
You have a nice day today? Nice weekend?
Decent weekend. Had a week off work with the kids, so all good, man. Pockets a bit lighter, but it's good, man.
It's the norm. Just the norm.
Always.
Just the norm. What about anyone else? Johnny, you did there?
Did there, man. Did there. You good?
Yep. Good. You have a nice weekend?
Didn't really get up too much. Still just watching bit of sport and them thing there. You get me? Just chilling in. You get it?
It's all right. You all right? You was happy, right?
Yeah, man. Good. Yeah, man. I'm content right now, man.
There you go. Cannot complain. All right. Where shall we go? The angel's a good one. We're gonna leave that for a second, yeah, because that's a nice one. Shall we deal with the trivial first? Let's deal with man like Hassan Campbell. Johnny, do you wanna jump off with the Hassan Campbell? Just give us a little background on who this guy is and everything, and then what's he been going on with this week, yeah, boss?
Well, basically, I got introduced to this Hassan basically I think a couple years ago. So what I got introduced to him is he's like a vlogger that tells people about what's going on in the rap culture and the black culture and stuff like that. But obviously before that, he breaks down his story about he went to prison for murders and stuff, and he's had a tough upbringing. He claims that he got what's the word I can say? He's been molested as a child growing up. So he's been through a lot. And obviously he's grown up around famous rappers because he's from New York, the Bronx, innit? So he's known and he knows a lot of people and he's hanged around with top figures. But in the last they did a hip hop's 50th anniversary, but he doesn't agree with the person that obviously hosted the award, because the person that hosted the award, he's alleged that's the man that obviously troubled him when he was growing up, innit? So he doesn't agree with people that support that whole culture, because he feels that they're supporting the man that's hosting everything. And a few months ago, they opened a hip hop museum, and the same man that he's alleged that troubled him growing up, he like basically put money into this hip hop museum, and he unveiled it, and certain people have come out in interviews and called this Hassan Campbell. They've called him a liar. They've called him police. They called him get me. They've called him all different names, isn't it? Like under the sun. And obviously, I watched one vlog that he did the other day, and he broke down on the vlog, and it's like I've never. He does go crazy still, but when you watch the vlog, you start to understand why he's perceived to be a bit of a nutcase. You get it?
Yeah, because I saw you showed me that one, and it went in for about 3-4 hours, right? 4 or 5 hours, right?
5, yeah.
Yeah, that was long. Go on.
And it's just basically, it's like, I don't know with him still, because he says certain things and then other things he contradicts himself. So he lets you know about what's happened growing up. And then he starts doing some other stuff like, oh, that's why I didn't want to tell you lot about my life, because you lot take the piss out of me and certain things. I'm thinking, why put it out there? You know what the internet's like, innit? You know they're gonna do certain things. And then I don't know, he's just a different guy. And then he incriminates himself talking about different crimes that he's done in his past. And then he says, "Oh, but this is for my book. So if you're gonna try arrest me, police, this is for my book. I'm doing this for entertainment purposes and them things." So I don't know with him, man. And then he starts getting on certain rappers and certain things and saying, "I see you lot as friends, and you lot call me out all the time." So it's get me. It's a sticky one still. But you would say you don't know why he would lie about something like that, but I guess there are people that would lie about them things, isn't it? So I've never heard the man that he's accused of doing it to him has said anything about it. I haven't heard him do no interviews. Hassan didn't, like, as far as I know, he didn't try to go to the police about it. He hasn't get me, so I don't know. But yeah, it's a different situation still. But yeah.
All right. I don't know. I hear what you're saying. See when you showed me that thing the other day, yeah, and I was looking at 4 or 5 hour blast that he was doing, yeah. When I was looking at that, I wasn't. I thought, I don't know what the whole thing was about. That's what I was debating, whether it was serious or not. Especially when he said something about especially when he said something about it's just for show, you know, it's just for his book, yeah. Especially when they said that, but I don't know the other thing. I don't know about the other thing. You know, the first thing what he's got famous for, what he's saying, my man molested him and stuff like that. I'm not doubting any. I'm not putting no doubt on that. I don't know, yeah. But I do know the guy was. I mean, he was on that. What's that? That Midnight Marauders LP, in it. You know, with all the little faces on it. He was on that album, yeah. So he was around. He was around the hip hop foundation people scene and everything. So, but yeah, that yesterday thing, that 2 hour, 3 hour, 4 hour thing was a bit suspect when he was crying and all that stuff. That seemed like a joke to me, especially if he was trying to promote a book. Do you know what I
mean? Different, isn't it?
What do you know about it? You know anything about that thing?
The rant is a bit like I wasn't convinced one way or the other. In terms of the allegations, the guy that he has put the allegations against, there's been also other guys that have put allegations against him. Obviously, he's very well known in the hip hop industry. He's one of the forefathers. But as of yet, no charges have been brought against that guy. So, as much as there's allegations been thrown against him, and other very famous people in the industry, really famous people like sort of forefathers alongside him, have basically spoke out and kind of alluded to it possibly did happen, you know what I mean? But still no charges have been brought against that individual. So it's easy to make accusations, and like Johnny said, people do lie. Sadly, I think if more than one or two or three people make those accusations, there may be an element of truth to it. You know what I mean? But you just don't really know, do you? So as of yet, you know what I mean, nothing's been brought against that guy. You know what I mean? Yes, there's allegations, but no charges have been brought against him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%, 100%. All right.
I mean, he got sued. That guy got sued, didn't it? You know what I mean? He got sued between 91 and 95 because they said that person engaged in repeated sexual abuse with him when he was a minor. I don't think they're talking about Hassan Campbell, by the way. They're talking about someone else. And was sex trafficked him to other adult men. So there are a lot of these sort of heinous allegations, but you know what I mean? All they do is sort of damage kind of somebody's image. And if they are right or true, then surely there has to be some evidence to back them up, and there has to be some charges brought forward against him. But as of yet, there ain't none. So it's sadly still hearsay. You know what I mean? I'm not saying one way or another. You know what I mean?
Well, me personally, it's not the kind of thing you want to jump on YouTube and start throwing about this happened to you and that's happened to you. And for me, if there's more than one person saying it, then there's got to be something
behind it.
There's got to be some fire with the smoke. Johnny, what do you say, Johnny?
What I did gather as well is about, I think they said there was 4 people in total that have claimed that against the one individual. And it's like you said, from there's a certain amount of people, you start to question it and think, all right, maybe there is some substance behind it, but for the charges and all of that and trying to get certain action, I don't know with that, because it's like you've left it so long, or I don't know if he actually ever, if anyone, this is what Artie said, he think one person, there was some lawsuit against the guy or something. But
yeah, in 221 they're saying there was in it, and Vice published a sort of investigation into that said individual that he'd been doing these things for decades. And like I said, another very famous man in the industry said it was kind of hip hop's best kept secret. So with that kind of talk, sort of in that narrative form, then yeah, there might be something to go on. But then it's still strange how there's no real charges been sort of brung against him. You know what I mean? Because apparently this brother was doing it from the 80s.
Yeah, because this guy said it first happened to him when he was, he's claiming this guy first done it to him when he was 12 years old, isn't it? So, but people in the comments kept saying, so why did you go back? Why did you go back? And then my man's like, well, I was like, he said his mom used to hit him and abuse him and whatever. So he's saying that guy to go to his house, that's the only thing he knew as a 12-year-old, isn't it? But I question it is, all right, you're saying that, but you repeatedly kept going back. Well, I don't know. It's a bit, because you say 12, you're obviously you're a minor, in it, but to keep going back to that brother there, like, it's a bit, I don't know, man. It's a bit, I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's a deep thing, yeah, because I mean, none of us has experienced that, you understand, and so we don't know what kind of control. Let's just say it did happen, yeah. We don't know what kind of control. Yeah. We don't know what type of control. If he was talking about the he was getting beat from his parents, and then this guy was doing this, but you know, it comes with, that must have come with some kind of good side of it, where you understand, where he basically chose this one over that at the beatings. You understand? So I mean, I don't know. That's another episode, 100%, and a deeper thing.
It is really sticky. But teacher, if you know the geezer, and I know you know him, remember he was associated with a certain group of people, right?
Yeah.
And those certain group of people, actually, they wrote an open letter actually apologising for his actions. So there is, I think, like you said, there is a little bit of smoke to the fire as well. and they've distanced themselves from him. This was like 215, I think they were saying, and sort of 216 when Vice done the investigation into this said human being. But the people he used to roll with, well known, they've actually really distanced and kind of themselves for him, and actually wrote an open letter, kind of semi-apologising, saying, "Oh, we kind of knew bits and bobs were going on, and we should have done something earlier." You know what I mean? I mean, granted, this is 2016 now. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, I firmly believe it was true. You understand? But you know, but you know, a lot of people are hiding it. You know, I mean, it was just like the other guy thing with the singer that's in prison that he believed he can fly. You know, it was just that thing. It's the same as that thing. There was a lot of talk around it until they decided to do something, and he can imagine if he didn't do anything more that he was doing, he'd probably be out here still now. You understand?
Of course.
So you know, I don't know what this guy is doing, but you know, he's looked at as a legend and stuff like that. But you know, end of the day, he's a human, and there's bound to be one of these people inside the community, the hip hop community. You understand?
Of course, definitely.
It's just what it is. It's just what it is. Yeah. So, yeah, long. Do you wanna round that one up, Johnny, sir?
Well, I don't really know what else to say about it. Really, I just if anyone gets a chance to see it, it is long still. Try and watch it and then get back to us and give us your opinions on it still. But it is a long watch. But obviously, you don't have to watch it all in one. But yeah, man, just watch it and give us views on it, and yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, let's move now. This one's we're gonna before we jump into the Angel of Death, let me just give a recap on this one we done before. We done the thing about Dalian Atkinson. Remember we had a chat about this before, innit? And
Dalian, yeah.
And the officer that done the disgusting abuse of power, he's behind the door for 8 years, yeah?
That's good.
This guy, Benjamin Monk is his name.
Oh.
And
mad looking geezer as well.
Benjamin Monk, he was found guilty of manslaughter of this ex-baller, you know, on the Birmingham Crown Court on the 29th of June. Been sentenced for 8 years in prison, which is fair enough, because you know the talk is usually police officers don't get there.
No, of course not, exactly. But he lied as well, didn't he? Because he sorry, man, go for it. Sorry. Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, he lied because even in court and even in kind of when he was being questioned, he said he only kicked Dalian Atkinson once in the head, but there was clearly 2 footprints in his head. You know what I'm saying? And then when he released the taser, you know, you can release the taser and just stop it, just like as a jab. You know what I mean? He let it run. And he tried to say he didn't do that. So I think obviously that didn't go well for him, you know what I mean? And it is a blessing that finally these guys are, you know what I mean, doing some hard time finally. But yeah, it's sort of another sad tale. But at least his family's got a little bit of justice now. Probably guy should have got a bit more time than that, arguably, but at least he got something in it.
Well, this is what the family said. PC Monks used horrendous violence against Dalian, who was extremely vulnerable. In an extremely vulnerable position because he had some mental health issues, you know what I'm saying, and he needed help, right? And you know, this is another thing where another issue with the community where they always they send police to things of mental issues, which isn't really ideal because they don't know how to deal with mental people. Do you know what I mean? And they should have another kind of number to call that can actually deal with these things. So he needed mental help. Listen, this was a callous attack and a terrible abuse of a police officer's position of trust, you know. Then he failed to give a full and honest account of what happened, including in his trial, you know. So they're pleased that he got sentenced with that, and that was just a follow up because, you know, we spoke about this. Oh look, they're around there, isn't it? Around there again. That just a follow up, and no, good. Good to see that one happening. Anyway,
100%.
Anyway, Angel of Death, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, the Angel of Death, Lucy Lettsby. I'll say her name on here. I don't really care about her. I think she's an horrible. There's no words that can really describe her. As you guys are well known, she killed 7 newborn babies and she attempted to murder another 6.
Charming, isn't it?
Yeah, she comes from a very affluent background in, I think, just outside Hereford City. She brought up in a middle class environment. No signs, they usually say sort of with serial killers and stuff like that, they had an abusive childhood. You know what I mean? She had a tough childhood, and so the stuff she'd done now was kind of not sort of replicating her child, but she'd been through a lot of trauma and stress, which is anything but that. You know what I mean? She was a grade 5 nurse, which, as a grade 5 nurse, you got to deal with sort of the kind of extremely vulnerable sort of premature babies, and kind of look after them, sort of give them care after sort of parents give birth, after the initial 2 or 3 days. But yeah, as I'll come to, as I'll go through it now, she's just a very conniving, I don't know what else to say, kind of deceitful, just a horrible bitch, if you don't mind me saying so. You know what I mean?
Bit strong, old chap. Bit strong.
Yeah, but it is what it is, man. She's so like, there's no word. So basically, out of every, I think they said, out of every 1,000, 1,000 premature babies, maybe 2 or 3 might die. And in the sort of in the space of 2 years, they had in that same hospital in the counties of Chester, they had 7 died, and obviously 6 nearly died. And she'd made attacks on other children as well. But she was a very sneaky and conniving woman. So like when she would do the attack, she would inject the babies with like mad levels of insulin. You know what I'm saying? But when she done it, there was only 2 people on her shift. So what she would do, kind of sneakily, as soon as the parents left and kind of went home, she would time it to when her shift was nearly finishing, do her dirty deeds, and then the baby would become poorly as the next shift took over. You know what I'm saying? And she was never ever seen doing anything. And that's how she kind of got away with it for so long. And also she was really conniving. So it's like she would choose, obviously, babies who were premature, but they had other kind of health issues attached as well. You know what I'm saying? So they were even more vulnerable. So even if anything went wrong and it weren't on her shift, on her next shift, they'd make an excuse. And she got this sort of persona as being really nice, sort of really helpful, nice Lucy and all these things happening. But, I mean, as you might have seen it play out in the press sort of after time, things started, taking a turn kind of for the worse. I think she killed like 2 babies kind of off the bat with that same thing, like I'm saying, in terms of giving them high levels of insulin. And then sadly, the babies just sort of blew up and kind of passed away. But the weird issue with this attached is that babies do die, when they're premature, even though it doesn't happen to the extreme levels that it's happened at the hospital in those 2 years, they do die. So that was kind of what did maybe alert kind of some of the medical staff at first. And her conniving nature as well, and the way she sort of committed the crimes at kind of the end of her shift, didn't draw really much attention to her. But it did after a while, because I think after the first 2 babies died, it was sort of brushed off. And even kind of one of the doctors said it was just a coincidence because it was nice Lucy and kind of stuff like that. And she never got caught until I think it was 2016 when she wasn't properly caught, but I think there was a mother, she was coming back to the hospital when she was bringing some breast milk that she had expressed and gone to leave at the hospital, you know what I mean? So when she come in there, she saw my girl standing over her baby, and the baby was all going blue and had all blood on the mouth, and she started screaming at her, you know what I mean? And what she done, she's so sneaky. She covered up her name badge with a yellow sticker, and then told the woman, look, to go back to the neonatal unit. He was taking a bad turn, and foolishly, that lady went back, and then 2.5 hours later, that baby died. And there was another case, like a year later, when she had injected one baby with such high levels of insulin in one bag, but just to make sure the baby would die, she put it in a secondary bag as well. But then anyway, thankfully, as the baby was getting quite poorly, some doctors came around, noticed that, took away the first bag, but couldn't really understand how the baby was still becoming poorly. Then it's only after they removed the second bag of insulin that it twigged to them that they shouldn't have this high level of insulin in 2 bags. I mean, not even one. But this is where I think it's a big breakdown for the NHS guys. Yeah, they after how many deaths was it in 2 years? Sort of 5 or 6 deaths in 2 years, when you don't even have 2 in 10 years. They took her off the neonatal wards, yeah, and then the next 6 or whatever 8 months there was nothing happening. It was quiet, but they still gave her a desk roll. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they didn't take her off or anything, or pass on no information to the police or anything. You know what I mean? They gave her a sort of front of house sort of desk roll. And then only after, which is weird, like, I mean, if you see those deaths in sort of 2 years and you don't see them in 10, and you take this woman off of the ward and nothing's happening, it's all gone quiet again, how can you still give her a desk roll?
Look,
And then,
okay,
it's a joke.
Hold on, let's just go on and talk about that for a second.
Yeah.
How do they measure that, right? How is that measured, in it, right? Because how would they measure the deaths total, right? The total time and how many years, yeah?
Yeah. But they just do it per year and stuff. And even though these babies are born sort of premature, really premature, teacher, they generally have really good chances of survival if they get the right care. And that happens on a regular basis. Yes, there are deaths, it's minimal. So to have, like, how many, what was it, 6 from June 2015 to June 2016, and she killed 3 in June 2015 and 3 in June 2016. You know what I'm saying? But even 3 in 1 year, surely they should have noticed and said, hold on a second here. 3 is too much in 1 year, and it's only 2 people on that shift. And yet they wasn't acting on it or doing anything because of this perception of her character as really nice, caring character. You know what I mean? Because she's always bubbly. You know what I mean? It was a persona. You know what I mean? A total persona.
All right, Johnny, what do you say? You got anything to say about that?
I just reckon it's all weird, man. Because for one, when we were talking about last week about the prison officers, about the training and security and stuff in this job, in the NHS whole facility, what type of training and security do they have in there? Because to have 3 in 1 month and then 3 in the next year in one, it's like you're looking at it like, when do you get concerned? When the first, the second, the third, and then it to me, it's all crazy, man. It's all mad. Because Artie, didn't she get because I seen something on the news where didn't she didn't get arrested before? Didn't she get kind of questioned before or something?
No.
And then be like,
John, it's all weird, mate. So like I said to you, after the 2015 and 16 murders, right, they gave her a desk roll, like a front of house. In some trusting, in it. Yeah, again, in the same issue, kind of dealing with primary care units. But, like, take her off, yeah, investigate what happens properly, look at it, put 2 and 2 together. It doesn't matter if you think someone's of good character or the perception of them as a nice person. These just things don't happen like that. Like I said to teacher, John, they might be premature, but they have a fantastic kind of rate of survival. You know what I mean? On average, it doesn't happen like this. And it's not just, those are just the deaths. Remember, she tried to murder another 7, and there's other attacks there as well that she tried to do. She's absolutely bananas, but very conniving and evil in another way. You know what I mean? Mad woman.
I hear that, right? But watch it. People look at politicians, okay, and they say, "Oh, look, that politician. Oh, he's really likable, really nice person." Yeah, they say stuff like that, and still that person ain't doing nothing for them. So, you know, the worst thing is the thing that I look at is, why are they need to obviously come with some kind of criteria where they need to check these people, make sure they're not some kind of crazy psychopaths, and obviously, like what you just said, is try and deal with them things quicker, and instead of, you know, if you like, you see the three deaths in 1 month, and that was over the total for the year. That's the flag already for get up and do something. Do you know what I mean? But
exactly, mate, exactly, and that's the disappointing thing. But she's so weird, you know. Like, after she murdered one baby, she went on a Facebook search to look for the baby's parents. And she done all these, like...
What for?
To, like, go on their page and say, "Oh, I'm sorry about your baby." Like, you know, and police discovered, like, 2,381 Facebook searches on her phone in the year of 2016. And she's weird, man. Very weird person.
That says she's nuts, innit? Because that's what... Do you remember with them 2 girls with the Manchester United tops?
Yes.
That was
the caretaker brother.
That was the same thing. The man was going around and trying to say, "Can I help?" You know, that's what these people, crazy fuckers, do, innit? They try to come around and try and help. Whether they're trying to help or they're trying to see if they're getting yam, I don't know, but that's what they do, right?
Yeah, but there's so many little red flags, but, like, because of someone's character, they overlook them. I think when she poisoned one of the babies with insulin, he was dying. I think he actually passed away, the poor baby. She was quoted as saying, as he was in hospital, he's not leaving here alive. But yet, nobody's not doing nothing. You know what I mean? You're waiting, and then you're giving her a desk roll. You know what I mean? A desk roll, and then they pass on information to the police force a year later. Finally, what twigged then was after they found the baby with the 2 bags of insulin full to the brim. You know what I mean? It's only that they come in and discovered that, and they knew that there's only one way that can get there, that was injected into that baby. So finally they passed on, you know what I mean, the information to the police. Then they arrested her. She denied all plausibility. She said it was bad staffing levels, poor staff, you know what I mean? A witch hunt against her. She totally denied it. But then they found a search in her house, innit? They searched her yard, and then they found in one of her handbags all of these big notes saying, "I did it. Babies had to die because I'm not good enough to care for them. I'm evil. I did it, blah, blah, blah." So that obviously was brung up in court. Again, she denied it. She said they'd been framed. She didn't write that at all. But then when they talked to her in court about how did these babies have these high levels of insulin levels, even she said they must have been injected. So she sort of half incriminated herself. But they were talking about her as having, I don't know if it's, you know, this kind of Munchausen syndrome, this kind of thing where you're seeking attention sort of thing, you know what I mean? And that's why they're sort of committing these crimes. But I just think she was a evil, horrible bastard, excuse my French, because even after she'd killed 2 babies, she went on a 3-day bender to Ibiza and then come back and said, "I'll be back with a bang." You know what I mean? So this sort of perception, like you said, teacher, with sort of politicians and other people are like, "Oh, he's a good person. He speaks well, he does that." That means nothing. You don't know what's going on kind of behind their head. That's not to say that somebody speaks well and talks well is always a serial killer. Of course not, you know what I'm saying? But on the flip side, it's like a mask they're wearing to sort of cover up all of the nonsense that, you know, she was doing.
Well, totally. And that's the similarity there. They all wear the mask, you understand? Whether they're wearing the mask for this or for that, it's still a mask, right?
Oh, 100%, 100%. And that's the big thing. It's the massive mask they wear, you know what I mean? But it's sad that these things have to happen. And my sort of disappointment, I don't know how you guys feel about it, is that, you know what I mean, after the initial 1, 2 or 3 tests, maybe 1 you say, okay, but 2 or 3, that's, I think that's almost kind of their decade. But it doesn't happen, you know what I mean? Like 3 in a month, you know? You would have to take her off shift and say, no, you can't be on shift. Either you're doing something wrong or something's going wrong, but 3 babies are being killed. We need to do an investigation. We don't mean we're not judging you, blah, 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 but we need to look into it. But that didn't happen. Then you let her do another 3. Then you give her a desk job. And then you still don't pass on any information for another year. So those people, for me, have to be held accountable, not as much as her, because obviously she committed the crimes, but there has to be, you know what I mean, a level of accountability for somewhere in terms of the high professionals that work kind of within that industry, that worked in the hospital, that heard of these situations happening. Even some of the trainee doctors were saying, oh, you know what I mean, they nicknamed her the Angel of Death. That was a bit tongue-in-cheek. They didn't really know, I don't think, you know what I mean? But still, I'm like, come on, mate. So that's the major disappointing thing with me over the whole situation.
What do you mean they nicknamed her the Angel of Death and didn't really know?
That's what they were calling her, the trainee doctors in the hospital.
Why would they call her the Angel of Death if they didn't know? Yeah?
They were just trying to, well, look, you can interpret that if you want to, isn't it? Did they know, or is it a case of, are they just saying it in a quite, like, very bad taste joke, you know what I'm saying? I mean, a joke of very bad taste.
Basically saying, like, every time she's around, like, the babies, they just die or something. That sounds like some little sick joke thing, you get it? But
yeah, I mean, she's a proper sick individual. I mean, even through the whole court case, she didn't show any emotion, they were saying, up until, like, 4 months into it, and then she shed a few tears and that, you know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, now I was reading about the hospital, what they're doing now is, so if you have a premature baby on ward now, before there would be a process that you'd probably stay for a day or so, and then you'd go home, and you know how it is, you visit the baby and whatever, bring milk or, you know what I mean, through the day. But now they're saying that just people can stay by their baby's side now and sleep with them at the night and stuff, you know what I mean? And kind of stay in there with them. But why wait for that to happen?
Totally.
Sort of put in these measures.
Totally. There should have been somebody there, and it shouldn't be just her. It shouldn't be just her holding a something. Somebody else should be holding.
Not at all, mate.
Somebody else should be holding a sack straight away. But listen, there was this nurse, Beverly. What's it? Beverly Alit.
Alit, yeah, and that's what I'm saying. She claimed that Munchausen syndrome. Yeah.
She was jailed for murdering 4 children and attempted murder of 3 others, and causing GBH to 6 more. You understand? This was in 91.
Early 90s, wasn't it?
91, yeah. So she was the first Angel of Death. So if they called this woman, it's not a fucking nice woman to call you after. Do you know what I'm saying?
Exactly. So that's a little bit like you're thinking to yourself, like, why are you calling me that? You know what I mean? No, but yeah, I don't know, man. I you know, I mean, that's their sort of argument. How they didn't sort of pick her up was, her background was fine, her checks were good. She came from a pretty affluent background, and that was always their point of view, that she never had any signs to show that she had whatever going on, mad personal stuff. And I suppose, to play devil's advocate, the way she was doing it, the way she done the crimes was very sneaky. Like I said, at the end of her shift, so it would fall into the next person's shift, and then sort of act a little bit confused. But like most of the other serial killers, they get too greedy in it. You know what I mean? And like I said before, she was basically caught on the job once, but sort of got away with it. I feel sorry for the mother in a way, but if that was my sort of premature son or daughter, and I've stumbled across some nurse standing over my daughter with blood coming out of his mouth, I ain't going nowhere. You know what I mean? That's only me personally. I'm not going nowhere, but maybe she thought the woman knew better, obviously, but she didn't know what actually was really transpiring, you know what I'm saying, which is sad.
Johnny, we got to say about that?
Bro, I just reckon after the first 3, whoever was on the shifts around the time of first be, they should have been suspended without further notice. So like, because I've been in certain jobs where certain things happen. Everyone around that time get suspended. They get to the bottom of it, and then But it's like in this case, it's like
You're a
they
bit
just
funny.
let
You're
it
sounding
go.
a bit funny, old chap. There, we can't hear you totally, 100%. Yeah. No, you're breaking up a bit.
Yeah, but on her shift, guys, they were saying that there was only two in it. There was only two women on that shift. It was her and another woman, and they investigated the other woman thoroughly, and found nothing on her at all. You know what I mean? But she was there. I think there was 24 offences in total. So 6 babies she murdered, sadly, 7 attempted murders, and another 11 just manages like trying to stuff the tubes down the baby's mouth. You know what I'm saying? So 24 offences in total, when she was present for all of them. So that's where it was quite conclusive for her.
What was and she got sentenced, did she?
Yeah, she got life.
What
life,
was the sentence?
life.
For who? For how many? Because she didn't get sentenced for all of them, right?
I thought she did. What was her life sentence? I thought she got consecutive.
No. What I'm saying is there was it wasn't all of them kids that she got sentenced for, right? Or there was something hidden or something, or they weren't conclusive on. They didn't all agree that this was done. There
wasn't total sort of conclusive nature about sort of all the crimes, but she's basically got sort of a mandatory life sentence anyway. She's never coming out, and hopefully it sounds quite bad, but maybe someone might get hold of her sort of behind the door and sort her out a bit. You know what I mean?
You can't say that you don't believe in that stuff. That you can't say that you don't believe in that, do you? Because then if that goes for one, that can go for everybody, then, right?
Oh, that's just how you feel about certain crimes, isn't it?
That can go for.
Just how I feel about certain crimes, mate. At the end of the day, I think if you've murdered 7 babies, mate, I mean, it's not an eye for an eye, because at the end of the day, you're in prison for the rest of your life anyway. So that's your punishment anyway. But even if I think it or not, it'll probably happen to her anyway. Because I don't think people can stand for someone like that coming in prison unless she gets protected, isn't it? I don't know if she's going to get protected.
And they do get protected a lot in there. Johnny, what you got to say about that? You got anything to say about that?
Can you hear me clear now?
Perfect, crystal.
Well, the one behind the door thing, I spoke about this the other day with my people then. And we basically just said that they will be on like a VP wing.
Exactly.
So, I don't see anything bad happening to her because she'll be around certain mad people anyway. So, but I seen something they were talking on the news this morning about they should take away certain privileges for her, but I don't see that because they'll see going behind the door is punishment enough. What are you gonna do? Leave her on basic?
No PlayStation. Is that what you're saying?
Wait, they're saying she shouldn't be allowed to have certain things like TV and them thing, and I'm like,
what? No canteen.
No
canteen. No?
Basic rage. No enhanced. Basic.
Oh yeah, she's being sentenced tomorrow, guys.
Yeah, Monday. Yeah.
Yes, she's going to be sentenced tomorrow.
They said they couldn't. Sorry to go over. They couldn't find her guilty for. Is it 5 other ones or something?
Exactly.
That they said the jury couldn't come up with a decision, so they had. So basically, she bust case on the other 5, but the 7 found guilty.
All right. Well, let's talk about these things. Why? This is what I don't understand, right? She's clearly. This is the one. You understand? She's clearly the one, right? So what's the deal with all these other little things? Do you know what I mean? Did you see anything about that on RT? Did you see anything about that? Because I'm thinking,
man. I've read through all of her stuff.
I'm thinking, what the fuck?
I don't know how she's not been convicted of the other ones.
Sorry, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Yeah,
sir.
sorry. I'm thinking, what the fuck is going on? Because she's obviously the one that's been doing this. So whether there's nobody else in contention for that thing. So
No.
why is it that you don't get convicted for these ones? Go on,
I
sir.
have no clue, mate. Because, like I said, it was only her and another woman on shift, didn't it? Her and another woman on shift, and they totally exonerated the other woman. Totally. So all of those instances where was the 7 murders, the 6 attempted, and I think 8 other cases of sort of assault and stuff like that, she was present on all of those. She was there. So I don't understand how she bust case on any of them. I don't understand it. That's bizarre for me. I've got to see the sentencing anyway, Colin, tomorrow. I'm back in work tomorrow, so I'll try to catch it on my lunch hour in work and see actually what goes down in terms of the sentencing. But yeah, I don't get that, because for me, she seems bang to rights that she's killed them all. You know what I mean?
100%.
Disgusting.
Johnny, you want to add anything before we move on?
Just makes you wonder about this jury service and the system, and it's all mad, isn't it? Because these people don't know nothing about evidence or nothing, but they can come up with a decision about guilty on certain things. Where to me, I haven't seen the evidence, but it seems all plain as day to me that she done all of it, innit? So yeah. I don't see what the ifing and buttons about, but you know, it works for some people, it don't work for some people. Get me? But
sadly, mate.
Just hope she just gets the book thrown at her, innit? But you know, you never know.
Yeah, exactly. I'm sure she'll get a life term anyway, innit? But like I said, maybe it's her perception of.
One without parole, but will she get one without parole, though? That's the thing, man.
I'm hoping. I'm hoping for that, but we'll see in it tomorrow. So yeah, you have to watch this space and see what she gets and see how they break it all down. Because yeah, that's intriguing that they couldn't come to a conclusion on some of those murders, because the stuff I've been reading about her and the stuff that's happened, even just by the process of elimination, gentlemen, if there's only 2 people on shift and you was exonerated and it was me and you, John, for example, just say, and you was exonerated, then it's all on me then, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
It's not on no one else. I don't see what is there to sort of, you know what I mean, pull hairs about. But yeah, as you said, it works for some people, mate.
Is this the position when you have money and then you can afford a good lawyer, and then the lawyer can potentially get you off for certain things, which we've obviously seen all over the place, right, Johnny?
I reckon it's that, you know. I reckon a legal team must have sat down with the judge them and basically said, let's basically make them not the charges that she's have to face for these ones, just make her get off with these ones, and would us get the jury to decide on these. You get me? We've all heard of scenarios like this where it's just, I don't know, man. It's just mad to me, and it's crazy.
Shambles, mate. The whole thing's a shambles. Just feel sorry for the parents here that had to lose their new babies, mate, over this nonsense. And even like you guys spoke about a little bit earlier on, obviously the first 3 was bad enough, but then you should have jumped in then and you could have saved another 3 bloody babies' lives. But due to people being lay and not doing their job properly and just looking at somebody's character, thinking, oh, it can't be her, it can't be nice, can't be nice Lucy, can it? You know what I mean? No, of course not. So, and sadly, because of that reason, another 3 died. But then apparently she didn't do it, even though she was the only one in the room. So, I don't know, maybe you could just sort of kill someone in a room and just say I didn't do it, and that's it, you know what I mean?
Well, go on.
Because I know before we talked about the structure of the police force and certain things, I think the NHS need to sort their shit out as well, man, because I'm not being rude. I know a few people that work in the NHS, and they said the conditions they work in is bad, and because they're understaffed, it's like they're employing people without the proper training. So they need to gut out their thing and sort that shit out, man, because they're talking about they're underpaid and certain things, which I agree with, but there's other stuff what they need to sort out within their workforce, like who's coming into the job and certain security checks. They need to sort out their shit, because I can only see this thing happening over and over and over again.
100%, sadly, mate.
Well, anyway, as you said, the thing is on tomorrow, and then I'm sure you can do an update next week of what happened.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
No worries. Let's move on to the next one. The next one is listen, I was watching the news last week, okay, and it was really a short thing, okay. It was really a short thing, and I done a little bit of digging, and there ain't nothing online about this thing. This Met officer charged with rape and strangulation. You understand? This this officer, a Met officer, another Met officer, is going to the Westminster Magistrates Court on Thursday afternoon, 17th of August. Yeah, he's charged with rape, non-fatal strangulation, ABH, misconduct in a public office, possession of a firearm, and 4 counts of possession of an offensive weapon in a private place. And this was these allegations have been taking place between January and August of this year. And some of them were when he was on duty, and he got arrested on the 16th of August and taken into custody, suspended from duty. So yeah, and that's all. There's I've been all over the place and tried to find some information about this person. We know who the name is.
Yeah, there's nothing.
We know the person's name and everything, but we'll just leave that one for later. But look, the Met police officer again, for some stupidness again. What's going on? After this Sarah thing, you would have thought they would have learned. Boom, there's the next one. What do you guys think of that?
It's just a conveyor belt, isn't it now? It's just a conveyor belt of nastiness now. I was reading it. You know what I mean? I read about that same thing about 2 days ago, and there's only a little story on him, and that's it. There's nothing else. There's no big scandal, no nothing, just a little story. You know what I mean? If that was your average John Doe, or you know what I mean, there'd be a big sort of big hoo-ha about it. But no, for me, mate, it's sadly seems to be sort of a conveyor belt of it, and talk is cheap, isn't it? And the same old sort of seems to be happening, sadly, over and over again, isn't it? But yeah, that's all I could find in it as well. Just a little bit, just what you said there, TG, you know what I mean, about sort of what he's been charged with and he's taken into custody and that. But you know what I mean, after all of the big main cases that's happened, it's still going on, mate.
Listen, when I heard when they spoke about it on the news, I don't know if you guys heard it on the news, but when they spoke about it on the news, it was just short, really brief what they said, and that was it. Nothing else was said, and
exactly.
They just passed it over. And I don't see why this is the kind of thing they need to be talking about. Yeah, these people are in control and have a certain amount of power. And there was another one there I was looking at, actually. This let me see if I got it on there. Yeah, there it is. Police officer jailed for causing death. This there was a woman. There was some officers driving the car down Stockwell Road, okay, on the 9th of June. And they were driving, these guys were driving, what were they driving? They were driving like 80, 90 miles an hour down these roads. You understand? And Stockwell Road, yeah?
Wow.
You know Stockwell Road from Brixton down to Stockwell.
Yeah, man.
They were driving on this road down there and driving about 80, 90 miles an hour and lick up a woman, killed the woman. And one of the officers is gone behind the door. PC Patel. PC Patel. Yeah.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? That again, it's another case, like I said, abuse of power, isn't it? Just speeding down that road there, that big long road, mate. It's crazy, man. You do wonder to yourself, sort of, when is it going to end? When's the sort of Met scandals and just general police scandals going to end? But as soon as one goes, almost another one comes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Mr. Patel got 3. He got 3 years. Yeah, he got 3 years and disqualified from driving for 54 months. And then there was another guy, PC Thompson. He was convicted of careless driving, but acquitted of dangerous driving, and that was it.
And that's it exactly. And that's it exactly. Not sort of looking into other things. Just that's it. You know, and they'll try to make the point now that they are acting and they are sending people behind the door, but still, you know, need to be doing a lot more, mate, sort of going forward. But we'll wait and see, innit? Probably by the time we do another podcast next Sunday, there'll be another scandal.
The next one, 100%.
Sad though.
Yeah, crazy thing. What else is on there? What else do we have on there? Oh yeah, footy. What time are we on?
Just coming up to 11.
Something. Yeah, footy. Anything? And you're happy with the performances? I know Thingy's on right now. This football program's right on now. So what? Were you? Anything strange around the results? I see Man United looking a bit strange.
They got dealt with, man.
What about Chelsea? Is Chelsea back one?
Well, they got dealt with as well, didn't they? Chelsea got dealt with. Yeah, they got dealt with by the Hammers, mate.
Teams that are supposed to be coming with something, they're all getting dealt with, man.
Well, that was a good win for West Ham. I did fancy Chelsea, to be fair, but they got turned over, mate. 3-1. 3-1 easily, innit? And what was it? City. That was a narrow one, though, innit? It wasn't an easy game. They only beat them 1-0, innit, against Newcastle. I didn't watch it, to be fair. I don't know if
Newcastle didn't really create anything. They were rubbish. I'll be honest. I rate Newcastle, but they look rubbish in that game.
Newcastle are turning into the bullies, beating all the shit teams and can't do jack shit against the big teams. But listen, anyway, we're jumping over all that and forgetting about the big game, the big World Cup final for the women. No? Did you see the match? Did you enjoy it?
I saw about 30 minutes of it, to be fair. I was going out with my kids and we was watching a bit, kind of. Spain looked better, to be fair, kind of technically. England, what did they hit the bar? But Spain missed the penalty. They looked a bit better.
Did you see it, Johnny? Because you didn't see it, did you, sir? Did you see it, Johnny? All of it?
Yep, all of it.
All right. Tell me what you think.
To me, England set up wrong, yeah? Because they were just letting Spain kill them in the wide positions. And it's like, I don't know, man. England had a couple opportunities at first. Like they hit the bar in the first half. And then, I don't know, Spain just turned it up against them. And it's like, the woman took too long to realise what was going on, the English manager. And it's like, she brought on James too late, and I don't know, man. To me, they just set up wrong, man. They set up too wrong. They didn't. She didn't play. What she did, she just started with the same team for the last 2 games, innit? When, to me, she had better options on the bench, innit? Or if you want to start with the same team for the final, then you got to change it up when you realise time's running out and it's not going right, innit? But yeah, it just went wrong.
Yeah. I agree with you because from that whole first half was really bad. They were under pressure, England, the whole time, and they didn't make no change. And I was surprised because I thought this woman was kind of active and would make a change. And she did make a change at halftime, but halftime was too late. She should have made the change much earlier, and then, take off some of these, some people that played good in that Australia match didn't play good at all, didn't turn up today. So boom, make a change quickly, and then try and move on. But no, she took too long, which kind of sold it for them. They had a couple of chances, as Artie said, they hit the post and all that, but it just looked nuts. And they put the central defender up front. Did you see that?
Yeah,
Mhm.
that was true. I couldn't believe that.
They put the central defender up front, and I'm like, this woman can't even. You know, I'm talking about football, right? I'm not even talking about man and woman.
It's irrelevant, yeah.
She's too thingy. She's not mobile enough. She's too stiff, and you understand. She can't. They should have just kept the other girl up front, because, to be honest, whoever else they brought on, they didn't have nothing. They didn't have nothing for anybody for the defense. You know.
Yeah. Do you guys think it mattered if James would have started? And would it have made a difference?
I don't know, because it's not like she did a couple things still, but before like, right, she got suspended, but before that, really, she wasn't really pulling up no trees. Really, she was doing all right still, but maybe I'm not saying, maybe, I don't know, man. Maybe she should have brought her on sooner than she did. Because what was it, teacher? She brought her on with how long left?
I don't know when she brought on. It was on the second half, because I was kind of doing things and everything. But you know what?
Yeah.
I wouldn't, just because they had a girl. Yeah, she played okay against Australia. She deserved to start this match. She did deserve to start. But I would have took her off. Like, I would have gave her 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and say, yo, you need to do something, or I'm taking you off. Clearly, I would have took them off, because look, they were under the pressure the whole first half. It was Spain attacking them the whole time. So I mean, there ain't no discussions in that. Whether it was she should have started at. Listen, just on the strength of the last match that happened, they deserve to go in that with that same team. I would have put the same team myself, but I would have made changes much sooner.
Yeah, sounds about right. Because they did play well against Australia, so I agree you would have kept the same team. But then you have to be sort of proactive in your changes, like you guys said. And I think she was more reactive and then just waited too long, and then they were being dominated anyway. Listen, and then by that time, you're trying to integrate someone and you're under pressure already.
Totally. And you got to be like Mourinho. Mourinho was the one to come in and just make changes whenever, 10 minutes into the match, if he don't see something going right. And that's okay. You know, maybe it's embarrassing for the person, but, you know, fuck the embarrassment. You want to win shit, right? Or you want to, yeah?
Exactly.
So, yeah, it was good. It was anyway, listen, yeah, besides all of that, they got to the fucking final. Hold your heads high, because that is not a bad result. That's a good result. You got beat by the best women's team at the moment with the you know, these team, they won the under 17s, they won the under 20s. So they were winners. They were always winners. Sorry, what was that, sir?
They're holding everything right now, isn't it? So
yeah, exactly. So that's no shame to lose to people like a team like that. What you must look at is the England team just come. They've been around for long, but now the backing's just here, and everyone's looking at it now. And they got to the Euros, and then this final.
No, they've done well.
I'm seeing the next 2-3 finals. They're looking to be winning one of them.
Definitely.
Yeah, so good result. What about up north, mate? What happened up north?
Well, I'm glad I went and took the girls out today. That was good. Yeah. Now we got knocked out the League Cup today by the mighty Kilmarnock on their famous 4G pitch. On the famous 4G pitch there.
What happened?
I don't know really. It's a disgusting pitch, but I didn't see none of it, so I have no clue. But apparently we didn't play well. We didn't, you know what I mean, and we didn't deserve to win. And yeah, we've got a few injuries and stuff, but you can't make those excuses. Even the pitch, it is dire, but you know, we've won on there before. I mean, they've beaten, to be fair to them, though, they have beaten both Rangers and Celtic this season, so they're doing not too bad, and they've come back up to the Premier League this year as well. So good luck to them. That probably opens the way to Rangers to win the cup. So they might well win that cup now. So that was it, really. Yeah, it was kind of a bit of a shock one, but you've got to take the rough with the smooth, innit? We've had it really easy over the last how many years, won so many trophies. So, you know, that's old Brendan's first cup loss as a Celtic manager. When he was there previously, he had a 7 out of 7 record in all competitions. And he come back in his third game, he's already lost one. So we'll see what the future holds.
Nice, 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 nice.
Mm.
And it's your boys playing tomorrow, isn't it, Johnny?
Yeah, hopefully we do something against Palace tomorrow, man.
You sound really enthusiastic about that. What's up?
Because what I seen the first game of the season when he's messing around with the whole formation, playing midfielder, right back, and playing. Bro, forget all of that. Play your best right back, your best left back, your best set. Just play everyone where they're good at, man. Forget all this inverted business, man. Play the players, man. And if we do that, I reckon we should win. But with this guy, you never know. He could have Havertz playing centre back. This he's a madman. Bro, he's a madman. I don't know what he's doing in it. So we'll see in it. But yeah, he's a crazy.
Yeah, it should be a good game because I think Palace they're a good progressive team and they've got a old gangster Roy there at at their helm.
Pulling up his trousers and all that. But make sure he puts a fucking proper belt on, mate. You don't have to pull up your trousers. Or is it a South London thing or what? What do you say?
Could be in it. Old gangster Pat, innit? Old gangster Pat.
GP, go on.
But no, I mean, all jokes aside, he's done it right in it at Palace, and I think he'll give Arsenal a good game. And like Johnny said, if Arsenal are not on their P's and Q's and they're not playing people in their proper positions, which sadly Arteta seems to be doing that now, and they've also lost my guy, innit? What's his name? The guy Timber's out for the season now, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a massive one, that, because he looked really good. When I've only 20, 30, what was it, sort of in 20 odd minutes or something, weren't it? But he did look really good player. Yeah, but we'll see tomorrow. What's going to say 8 o'clock? So yeah, that's the last one of the weekend for the roundup of the Premier League, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Who got bang up today? Everton got bang up, innit? 4-0, innit?
Yeah, by Villa.
Smacked up by Villa. But I like Villa. I think Villa are going to do bits this year still. I know they got smashed by Newcastle last week, but they've got some good players. They bought well. So let's see where they finish.
Makes you wonder with Everton, man. They got this Dyche in charge. He's supposed to be hard in defence and that, but he's just got 5 goals in 2 games. Everton, they didn't get relegated the last 2 seasons. This season, you're going to see them and Wolves get relegated.
And old Phil Mitchell there, isn't it? Old Phil Mitchell there, mate. Gravel voice. But yeah, I mean, they brought him in to keep him up last year, but they have to. Well, it's interesting because they're building that new stadium there, aren't they, Everton? So they don't want to be going to that new stadium in the Championship.
I think they're saying 2024 it should be ready, isn't it? So.
Yeah, it looks nice, to be fair. I'll give them their credit. It does look nice. But whether or not they'll be in the Premier League is another thing, guys.
Them and Wolves don't look too good right now, man. Them 2 teams.
Yeah, no, they're struggling at the moment. It's still early doors, and there's another transfer window coming up still in January. But if you are down there, you don't want to be getting pumped every week and sort of falling adrift in it. You know what I mean?
Is there a problem, do you think, with this new age, new style football, and maybe some English managers can't deal with it because them 2 teams are run by English managers, right?
Yeah.
Do you think there's a problem?
Could be.
That they can't
get
down
style,
with it?
Isn't it?
Or they can't get down with, or because that guy, the Everton guy, he's old school, isn't he?
Yeah.
I don't think he's playing any passing football. And I don't know.
No, it's more long ball business, isn't it?
And I don't know about the other guy, what he's doing at Wolves, what football he plays, but what did
he does try to play, but I think he's losing his players, and I don't know. Wolves, remember we spoke a while back, isn't it? It's like a few years back they had sort of the massive Portuguese influx of some really decent players, isn't it? But slowly they're all going. I mean, they've still got Neto there. But I like him. I think he's the next to go. You know what I mean?
But I mean, that's neither here nor there to me. The point is that if you're a manager, you're a manager. It doesn't matter what you got. You can make a team out of what leftovers you have there. And plus, you got a big youth setup. So if you're a manager, you're a manager. But I don't know if these guys
are cutting out. Yeah,
Do you?
I don't
What
know.
do you guys think? That's what the question is. What do you guys think? You think they can cut it?
Well, I don't think this year. I think, like John said, I think it's very early, 2 games down, but I think they're 2 of the favourites, big time favourites for relegation. You know what I mean? I mean, a lot of people say all the teams that come up might go down again, like who is it, Luton and sort of Sheffield United and that. But they even look like they've got a little something. Sheffield United, maybe Luton will go down, but no, I think those guys are under big pressure, and especially the Everton guy. I don't know how much longer they're given, because they're generally quite impatient as a board. You know what I mean? So loses another 3 or 4, he might be out the door anyway. So now I think he's struggling, mate.
If you ask me, I reckon to your question, I don't reckon the English managers can play out properly from the back. I reckon they struggle to come to terms with it, because when you see Newcastle yesterday against Man City, it's like they couldn't cope with the playing out when Man City's playing out from the back. Roy Hodgson doesn't play that way. The Wolves manager don't look like he can. Dyche don't. So maybe it is like a British manager thing. Maybe they can't get to the terms when they're playing against your De Zerbis and your Artetas and all that. So yeah, it looks like they're struggling to play like that, man. They're playing this route one football, isn't it?
Do you think? Do you think it's a thing where they're not trying to move to the next level? Instead, they're just sitting down on some old morals and just keeping it old school. What do you think?
Yeah, I reckon 100%.
Yeah, I think the same. I mean, a few of the guys might be more progressive in it. I mean, he didn't do well at Chelsea. What was his name? But at Brighton, he's played good football, innit? Old Potter done all right. And I think it's the more younger ones that sort of grow up now. They might try to play some more sort of progressive football and pass out. But like you said, people like my man for Everton, innit? He's notorious for that, innit? He's notorious for long ball FC, innit? Like that was his thing at Burnley, innit?
Would you say that because I think Brighton was like, remember Southampton a few years ago when Koeman was there, and there were some other guys there, and Southampton looked really good, didn't they?
Yeah.
It seemed like they couldn't do no wrong. But I think, don't you think it was this Brighton team? Because as soon as he left Brighton, he didn't do nothing, did he, that guy?
Potter.
Yeah, he didn't do nothing. As soon as he left Brighton, he didn't do nothing. And he didn't know, it looked like he didn't know what he was doing at Chelsea, right?
I mean, the Chelsea thing was a car crash. I think he went there, but when it materialised what was actually happening at Chelsea, he's just stuck between, he's like a rabbit in the headlights, because he didn't really know what to do. The squad was all messed up. He didn't know who to play, who to pick. My man just come in it, Bowley, buying everyone.
Didn't he get rid of Aubameyang? No, he is the one that took Aubameyang out of the Champions League selection, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't have no Potter, yeah, and they didn't have no striker for the Champions League, innit?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
sorry.
On it, go on.
No, go for it.
Yeah, Lukaku got frozen out of the squad. Aubameyang, obviously, he took him out of the Champions League squad. He was playing Sterling wing back for no apparent reason. Like, the guy lost the plot, man.
Yeah, exactly. Sterling was, to me, the guy didn't know what he was doing. Maybe he wanted to go there and just take the money and get sacked and then have a nice holiday with pay and all that bullshit. I don't know, but I didn't see the same. But Brighton had all them players, and all you got to do is just put them in the position. Not to say that other guy's doing that, because he has done it at he was at Swansea, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Brighton manager now, and they're playing a similar type football anyway. You know what I mean? But I don't know. Looking nuts. Where is he anyway? He's disappeared, isn't he? Or has he gone Spain? He's gone Spain, complaining like that guy. He looks like that guy, doesn't he? A little bit. You know that guy that complains in Spain, always talking about the Arsenal. What's his name?
Lee Gunner. Yeah.
He looks like his twin.
Oh dear.
But I think it is more to do with a cultural thing, with the playing out from the back, and that it's like the British managers are trying to adapt to it, but it's taken them kind of time to come to terms with it. But obviously, when you got these foreign ones, it's like they've got all of that playing out from the back. They've been used to doing it at other clubs. You get it in foreign countries, isn't it? Remember, the English league was one of the last ones to start playing out from the back. All the other clubs, like all the other leagues, were doing it before. So all these managers that you see doing it, De Zerbi and Pep and all them lot, they were doing it in other leagues, innit? So I don't know, man.
Yeah, it's happening now. People are doing it more now, aren't they? But you also need the right players to do it as well, innit? The right quality players. If you ain't got the quality players, there's no point playing out from the back. You got Harry Maguire there. There's no point playing out from the back. But saying that, though, one thing you've seen the Man U goalie, he's very good. I see his passing. His passing's on point. You know what I mean? Very good. I see that he was one of the bright spots for Man U yesterday, really. They said he was at fault for the second goal, but I'm not sure about that. But his passing is outstanding and honour, isn't it?
Listen, they've done nothing but put that guy down since they said he was turning up to United. They've called this. They said he's this. They said that. They said so many things. I've never heard so much bullshit come from a player, come from all the commentators or all these these idiots, ex-ballers that chatting rubbish, that don't know nothing, that always chat with their bias talk. I can't believe it. And what is it really? Is it that they just don't want to see? They just don't want to see a good keeper go to their team. What's wrong with them?
Isn't it? Nah, I don't know. It's strange, isn't it?
They just keep bringing up about the thing that happened to him at Ajax and thing there, but he served his match, done what he did, innit? I'm sure other players have done worse.
They'll probably have, innit? End of the day, like you said, innit? Bad news sells, innit? So they'll make a story about him, or like when he got lobbed, and who were they playing? Was it RC, not Lens, or someone lobbed him from the halfway line in pre-season?
50 yards out, yeah.
But that can happen. I mean, especially when you're a goalie and you play on the 18-yard line, which most sort of progressive goalies want to do now, because you can't sit back and hang tight in your 6-yard box and wait for it to happen, and you're there lounging, mate. You're going to get peppered. You know what I mean? But now I think he's an outstanding goalie. I don't know if he's Man U's answer, because the two performances I've seen Man U this year in the league, they've been very poor. Very, very poor, mate. So he's a top goalie, no doubt about that, but they need more than that, you know what I mean?
Well, they need a overhaul. I think that guy that they bought from Dortmund is not. I don't know what's up with that guy, but I don't know how much they paid for him. I think that they got mugged. That was George Weah's cousin. and Fernandez is like he's disappeared. He's not playing as good as he used to play.
Yeah, he doesn't. He flits in and out in it, and he cries and moans a lot.
The only good one that I've seen play is Wan-Bissaka.
Wan-Bissaka's been solid still.
He's the only one that I've seen play good consistently since he didn't really get in the team before that guy, innit?
Yeah, exactly. But now he's in the team. Now he's doing not too bad. But apart from that, they offered nothing. I mean, they done a bit in the first half of that game I watched. Fernandez missed a sitter. But second half they got bossed, absolutely run all over by Tottenham. Should have been more than 2. You know what I'm saying? Got terrorised.
Yeah, totally.
But that's been it for the Prem, innit? There was, a bit of UFC? That was a good knockout. If you go find it online, the Sterling and O'Malley. That was a nice knockout. Didn't see it was a big event last night, 292, but that's too late for me. Then 1 o'clock times there, you know what I mean? But yeah, that was a good knockout. That was the highlight reel of that fight. And was there any boxing this weekend? No, nothing much happening boxing wise this weekend. You got Dubois Usyk next weekend, And after that, you got the rematch, the Eubank and Smith coming up. That's all the combat sports for a couple of weeks. So look out for that one.
Yeah, Johnny, want to talk about the boxing?
What, last week?
This week coming up. Was there some last week? I don't know.
Oh,
there was nothing happened last week, was there?
Yeah.
The Joshua one last week, isn't it?
The Joshua. There was a good English fight as
rubbish.
well. With this, there was another fight. Was this guy they built up? What do they call him? Dennis the Menace. He's some lightweight guy. He's of traveller background. You know what I mean? They built him up to be something wicked, and he had this fight with this Romanian brother, and he was talking like big build up. He's gonna smash him up, this, that, and the fight got stopped because this McCann guy got a bad gash in his forehead. And I think they gave it a draw, but I thought he lost that fight, you know what I mean? So then man got to have a rematch. But it's funny, you know, they do this to so many fighters, sadly. They build them up and they don't really fight anyone of adequate standard. And then the first person that really comes to fight them, they struggle, you know what I'm saying? And end up basically losing, and they lose their own. But that doesn't matter. You can come again, but it's what happens in a lot of them. I mean, a lot of the combat scene, you're built up and understand that you don't have to fight. You don't want your guy fighting the top guy straight away or over fighting them, you know what I mean? But you have to have a good level of opponent, because when you do a little step up, you're not ready, you know what I mean? You might get smashed, and that's happened quite a few times, didn't you? See it?
Go on, Johnny.
I can't even think of no more. But no, did we speak about Del Boy?
Oh yeah, Del Boy is done, and yeah, he needs to call it a day, mate.
Go on, Johnny. What you got to say about it, Johnny? Go on, Johnny. What you got to say about Del Boy? Yeah.
Bro, give it up, man. Bro, that man's his speech is gone now, man. He's taken too much hits to the head. But apparently he's gonna, because he won that match against that Washington, he's gonna be on Joshua's undercard in Saudi, innit, when he fights what's his name? It's American Wilder. So
he's gonna be on the undercard. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so cause they're friends, innit? So Joshua basically said, if you beat Washington, I'll let you be on the undercard again, because he was on his undercard last week. So, bruv, this guy, man. Yeah. He needs to give it up now, man. Surely he saved enough money now, and it's just it's not funny, you know. It's not fun no more, isn't it? Because you just see it get lick up all the time, man. It's just I don't know, man.
No, understandable. I agree with you, mate. You should call it a day.
Give it up.
Yeah, retire, man.
Yeah, and obviously Dillian fucked it as well, isn't it? We're against Joshua, so I don't think we'll be seeing Dillian again, because he's like 35 now. So if he gets a ban, most likely we ain't seeing him box again.
Nah, I think he's a wrap for him soon, innit? Nah, that's it. That's about it. Oh, you got the Canelo coming up soon against Charlo. That's September. That should be good. Can't remember what date, September, against one of the Charlo brothers. So that should be a decent fight. Still think Canelo probably knock him out because he's a bit light. The geezer's coming up a weight, but you never know. He's a talented fighter. But yeah, that's about it on the boxing and combat for now, I think.
That's about it for everything else. Nice one, guys. 1 hour and 20 minutes. That's movie time.
Always.
Yeah, you know what? Another thing is, I'm looking at Rumble. You know, Rumble's like it's like a YouTube, but less restrictive. You understand? So potentially, remember what we was doing with that funny stuff, and maybe looking at funny videos. We can maybe do that on Rumble. I'm not sure. I'm gonna. So yeah, I'll just I'll check that out definitely. But yeah, guys, respect, blessings. I just got my thingies just been blowing up, text all over the place. Do you know what I mean? So,
no worries, man.
Blessings, guys.
Bless up.
Bless up, guys, as well, man.
Big up, Becky Lou, and Mr. The Creative, always, every time, yeah?
Yeah,
If you
big them
guys-
guys up always, man.
Man.
If you guys want to put any options for topics and stuff like that, just jump in. Don't feel no way, yeah? All right, we'll see you next week, yeah? Same time, same place.
Blessings, man.
Like and subscribe, yeah?
Always like that and subscribe. Hit it up, man. Come on.
Bless up.
Blessings.
Yeah, take care, guys. Have a good one.